400 cases of people who wandered into the wilderness but never came back. Accounts of children, people
was a coyote,
vanishing,
dog, or
seemingly
else.
swallowed up by the many endless forests across America, or even later found in ways that defy logic.
An animal.
Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man.
She described the way that the creature moved as being unnatural.
You've had problems in the neighborhood
It looked
before?
like it was
Yeah, my dog was
uncomfortable
killed here
in
just
its own
recently.
feet.
I don't know what it was. So whatever it was that was standing out there. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything.
She
I don't want to go
believed
outside.
that what she was looking at
Jesus
was
Christ,
pure
you better...
evil.
Sure. Tia,
Hello?
get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9".
Do you see
The
him now,
cases of
sir?
about
Yes, I'm looking
100
right
people,
at him.
at least, who claim that they've been abducted
hang
by
on.
aliens.
He's
One
right.
of Dr. Matt's
Is he in your
patients,
yard,
Linda,
sir?
Yeah,
who says
God,
she
he's
has been
big.
Faded out,
abducted
like
since childhood.
reality. I was just
what I remember
being brought up this
my
tunnel of
wall
light,
came
right?
from being
Out
around my
of
bed.
this tunnel light,
And I
just
ran between
like
them
noticed
and ran
parts
out
of my
of the
life
room
that
to
wouldn't
my
even
mother's
occur to me to
to
remember.
hide
Then I
from
knew that I
And
wasn't
I
in
never
my
told
body,
anybody
that I
about
was
that, and I just buried
close to
it
death.
in the back
And
of
so
my
then I
mind.
came to the
Me
end
and
of
my
this
brother,
tunnel
we never
and noticed there
spoke
was
about
a
it.
man
We
that
told
first
about it.
started
noticed
speaking at first as
a
a place of
mist or a fog
and I
kind
also
of moving.
said
The
that
action, the
that
motion caught my
then
eye. It
the
actually
wizard,
started
without
taking
moving his
shape,
mouth,
taking
spoke to me
form.
and said,
The
struggle
idea of
with
the
you
Grim
to
Reaper
die.
went through my head, cloaked figure. And as I was watching, it kept becoming more and more and more distinct to me that this was actually something with some type of presence. Like it knew I was there. And as I was watching it, it turned and looked directly at me. I felt like whatever this was angry at me. I wasn't welcome. It wanted me out. I had been face to face with a ghost or a demon, a spirit. I'm not really sure what. But this feeling of terror actually was going through me. And I really felt more that it was demonic. It was something very evil.
Hey guys, and welcome to Real Supernatural Encounters. Today for my guest, we have Michael, and we're going to be doing a part 2 from episode 70 where he told of his near-death experience and a few of his paranormal and supernatural experiences. He wasn't able to get to a few of his experiences, and he still wasn't able to tell his closing comments and advice, and he has a lot to tell. So without further ado, let's get started. Michael, the floor is yours.
Brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. I figured we'll start off with the black shadow figures and exactly what they are. You'll see them, if you're sensitive enough, you'll see them here. And you're going to think that they're a negative entity, a negative energy. If you experience fear, if you're living in fear and worrying all the time, you're gonna pick up on these black shadow figures as negative, and you're gonna be afraid of them, and that fear they feed on, and they'll come and play with you, and they'll scare the hell out of you. Okay, so there's one passage I read years ago as a child somewhere. I think it was Norman Vincent Peale's Positive Thinking. Fear nothing but fear itself, and there's so much truth to that. We have to eliminate fear altogether. Okay, if you're living in fear, you're living a crappy life. We come here for one reason alone. We create this physicality for one reason alone, and that's to come and live. This is heaven. This is to have joy. It's not a learning thing. You've reincarnated over and over and over again. Your soul family, your soul tribe is in the thousands. Okay, and I was misled by someone to believe that when I see somebody's eyes that look exactly like mine, it's actually my soul that's energizing that person, and it's not. We have one soul energizing one person. If you want to know what your soul looks like, just go look in the mirror. That's it, okay? Right there in a nutshell. When you're on the other side, there's apparently no male and no female, okay? It's not till you come here and experience the yin and the yang that there's a male and a female. Now, the female we'll say the female is the positive and the male is the negative. The female is 7 times more sensitive than we are. The female is a portal that brings life into this earth. All we do is plant a seed. Okay, respect your women, love your women. They're 7 times what we are. Okay, I don't say worship them. Okay, don't worship anybody. This is something I learned from the other side immediately, was stop worshiping us. There's not a single entity on the other side that appreciates you worshiping them. They want you to worship yourself. They want you to learn self-love. Your body, this physical vessel that we've created, it's sacred. It really is, and you need to treat it as such. Stop smoking, stop toking, stop drinking, and stop overeating. Take care of yourself, exercise. We're like a plant. We need water. We need sun. We need good, healthy food. Okay, we need good, healthy nutrients. If you're going to be constantly in the junk food store eating sugar and everything else, eventually it's going to catch up to you, right? Respect your body. Treat it as such. It's sacred. It really, really is. You've created this little sacred physicality. You've created that little physical body as a vessel for you to come here and experience the touch, the taste. You don't have that on the other side. You can't touch anything. Okay, you don't have the denseness that we have here, and you can't hug your lover. You can't hold her hand. You can do that here. We've created this specifically for that purposes, to have a heaven and to just enjoy a wonderful, beautiful life. Unfortunately, there's a yin and a yang here, a positive and a negative, and if you get caught up in it, in the negative, I mean, you can have a pretty crappy life. Now, your subconscious, when we first come here, the first 4 years that we're here, we don't have a veil. We don't have that veil, okay? We create that veil with our subconscious, with the programming and the runaway thoughts afterwards, okay? I can teach you to lift that veil. It's you and only you that can lift that veil. And it's between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning, that veil is very thin, much thinner than the subconscious has created, and the density of it during the day. So if you're waking up every night at 3:30 in the morning, you can't figure out why, or 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, whatever, sit up and meditate. And don't lay down and try and meditate, because you're just going to fall asleep. Just sit up and meditate. And oh my God, the visions, the connections you're going to have, it's awesome. It's second to none. Our pets are a direct, that's the word I'm looking for, extension. They're a direct extension of ourselves. My daughter's dog, a little pit bull. And when I saw the eyes in that dog the first time, it was my daughter's eyes. And because of somebody who misled me, I believed that it was her soul that was energizing that dog. It's not. That dog has a soul of its own. And it's probably been with you in just about every lifetime you've had here. Okay. Now, the reason I say it's a direct extension of you, I have a cat. And when my daughter comes to visit with her little pit bull, the dog's twice the size of my cat. My cat is like me, totally fearless, is absolutely fearless. It wants nothing but love. Now, when my daughter brings the little pit bull in, it's a direct extension for her. My daughter's tough. She's strong. She's brilliant. She has no fear. She's a little pit bull, right? So the dog comes into the house. The cat instantly, with tail in the air, happily goes straight to the dog and sniffs his nose. Next thing you know, the two of them are playing. They're inseparable. They sleep together. It's so awesome. I have another friend of mine who's a little worrywart. She's constantly worried. She's constantly living in fear. And her dog is the same way. The dog's quite a bit bigger than my cat. And when she comes over and brings her dog, my cat, the first time, went straight to the dog with the tail in the air, wanting to rub noses with it and play with it and know it. And the poor dog was terrified. It barked at the cat. The cat instantly attacked the dog. They wanted to kill that dog. I don't know why, but I had to. There was one time in the hallway where there was blood splatter on the wall. That cat was putting a pounding on the poor dog, and I picked the cat up instead of the dog. I learned a lesson there. If your cat, your dog are getting into it, pick the dog up, because the dog isn't going to sink his fangs into your hand. This cat, he sunk his teeth deep into the palm of my hand, in my thumb, and I woke up in the middle of the night and the thumb was really frozen. I could hardly move it. I thought maybe I just slept wrong or something, didn't pay any attention to it, went back to sleep. When I got up in the morning, I noticed my thumb was really red and really swollen. It was infected from the cat's tooth, okay? So I just went out, moved a little healing energy, and I'm told by somebody who says they're a Reiki master, and they are. They're wonderful Reiki masters, don't get me wrong. They just have a limited perception, okay? And immediately she says, oh, you have to go to the doctors. You have to get antibiotics. Well, don't play with that. That's oh my God, right? Come on, really? I go out, move a little healing energy, and instantly I can see that the two white holes where the teeth had sunk in, and there's white poison coming out of it. What do? I just soak it in a little hot salt water. 10 minutes later, it's fine. Never been to the doctor. I don't need to go to doctors. I'm a Reiki master. I know how healing energy works. So your pets are definitely a direct extension of you. You can't live your life in fear and in worrying. The first time I met that lady, it was pretty funny. The first thing she said to me, I'm worried about something. I thought I'd be able to help her out. I gave her a really good book, discussed the law of attraction, exactly how this thinking works, and hadn't seen her for a couple of years. And it's funny, the other day we were talking, the first thing she says, I'm really worried about, and I won't go ahead and get into what, but I thought, wow, really? You're still worrying? Oh, you poor darling. I think you need to pick up that book. It will change you. I gave you a book from Marco Governelli. It's called It Will Change You. That book's fantastic. Okay. And yeah, I don't know if she's read it or not, but anyway, the black shadow figure. Okay. When you first die, the physicality, your physical body, when it's expired, and you float up out of your body, and you're looking around and observing, and you're not asking any questions, you're not thinking, you're just observing, and you're going to stay here and float around. Eventually someone's going to come and talk to you and try and show you a light and let you cross over. You have a choice. They're going to give you a choice. They're going to ask if you want to come or if you want to stay. And if you choose to stay here, you can go and haunt. And if somebody's, you go back to your normal dwelling that you like, you can stay there. That's how we get ghosts. Okay, that's how we get black shadow figures. If you're sensitive enough, and there's not many of us that are, but if you're sensitive enough to see those black shadow figures, that's exactly what you're looking at, is a spirit that's decided to stay here. And if they sense the fear, they're going to play with that. They're going to feed on that. The thing is, though, is normally they view us as a very bright light. And I know that for a fact. I'll get into it later why. They're afraid of us. They fear us. They really do. And they don't want to go into that bright light. They don't want to cross over. It's people say it's a natural thing to be afraid of the unknown. I don't know how natural that really is. I think that's something you create, and something you've created with your subconscious. Your subconscious is created the first 4 years of your life, and it's all programming. The television, it's called programming for a reason. Turn that damn thing off and get away from it, man, especially the news. Oh my God. You feel and think, oh, well, I want to be up to speed. I want to be able to converse with my friends. I need to watch the news. Yeah, no, you don't. You get in with a conversation with your friends, you're going to hear all kinds of crap about the news. Don't program yourself. Treat your body with the respect it deserves. You need to learn self-love. You really need to love yourself, totally respect and see just how sacred this physical body is, and you'll learn to love yourself, and that's the most important thing, is learning to love yourself. Now, the black shadow figure, like I said, if it senses fear, it's going to play with you. Portals, Ouija board is one. The thing with a Ouija board is, first of all, you've got a limited perception of what life is really all about. And you're going to view certain things coming in. It's going to scare you. It's going to frighten you. Well, they're going to feed off that. They're going to play with you. They're going to do it in what they feel is a nice way, so that you can learn from this, but it's going to scare the hell out of you. And if you don't do the proper smudging with sage afterwards, that energy is going to linger. You want to get rid of that energy. Every single house has a portal in it. If you got a mirror in your house, that mirror is a portal. That mirror is a portal. You can do the same thing with the mirror that you do with a Ouija board. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to be calling in spirits that you don't know. Okay? Especially if you're living in fear and worrying and doubt. If you're criticizing and judging and you're not loving, you don't understand the reality of this, it's going to scare you, and you're going to misconceive what's really going on, and you're going to think it's evil and demonic. There is nothing that's evil and demonic. Okay, that's just a non-existent. That's your own head. That's your own subconscious. That's your learning. That's your level of perception. Okay, there's nothing that's evil. I had a friend of mine. Two brothers, they're twins, and the third brother was was the yin to the yang. I mean, he was so negative. We were constantly trying to knock sense of him. He was always out in trouble with the police and B&Es and just a head case, crackhead. He ended up dying of a fentanyl overdose. So the last place I lived in, if the dining room light would flicker, I knew that there was a soul that had just crossed over, or some soul that wanted to contact me. I would go out by my pond and sit at a wonderful little place I could sit down in there and close my eyes, and I would immediately connect with that person and see them. And usually it was a friend of mine that just passed away. Now this time when Barry passed away, he died of that drug overdose. And I saw him and connected with him. When I saw him instantly, he was a black shadow figure, right? And when he turned around, he saw me and looked at me. I could see the way he was, I was just a bright light to him. And then he's slowly moving his hands away, and he's seeing me, and he recognizes me. And as he's doing this, behind him, a big golden light appears. It's a portal for him to cross through. And he looks at me, and he can feel the love I'm exuding. I don't have to say anything. And all of a sudden he smiles. His face just lights up, and he smiles, and he's slowly changing from a black shadow figure into the physical form that I know and seen, with a little hunched over back and a bald head and all the scars and everything, and he smiles, he turns around and sees the light, and he walks into the light, and he's gone. Deborah Dorkson here on the island, I'm going to give you her information. She holds a class. She teaches mediumship. Okay, she can do the same guided meditation that you're going to get if you hire a shaman and you're going to lick a toad or do DMT. Okay, only her guided meditation is going to be much clearer. You're going to see a lot more, experience a lot more, and you're not going to put your physical body in jeopardy. Okay, the DMT and these other drugs are putting you to the brink of death. They're not good for you. Stay away from them. Connect with a really good psychic medium, and they'll give you the same wonderful experience. Okay. In one of her classes, I met a lady, a Polish lady, and we started to learn to do readings. And the connection I had with her and the readings I did with her were phenomenal. And it was my very first one. It was just phenomenal. So she contacted me shortly after this and said that she had a brother that had gone missing in Poland, and then nobody knows what happened to him. Can you connect with him? I said, well, all I need to see is a picture of the eyes, and yeah, I might be able to connect. So she shot me a picture. I looked at the eyes. I went into meditation, and instantly there he is. It's like you're seeing a little TV screen, and then slowly that TV, and you see his face in there, and then slowly that TV screen turns into the whole, your entire vision. And there he is right in front of you, talking to you, communicating with you. And I asked for validation. So he puts me in a horse cart, and he's taking me through his village. And I'm able to just describe that village and the park and everything where he and her used to play. And so he was giving me that validation. So I asked him, I said, how did you die? And he tells me he got shot in the leg, and it hit the artery, and he bled out instantly. He said the gentleman that shot him didn't mean to kill him. He just wanted to give him a warning. And so all of a sudden, the vision splits in half. I can see him in the upper half, and in the lower half, it's a pretty dark, nasty room, and there's this ugly, big, black shadow figure, and this guy is mean. He's yelling, but I'm not hearing any of that until I lower my vibration so I can communicate with him. I'm not hearing anything. I'm just seeing him charging me and trying to attack me. Well, I don't feel any fear. You can put me in any situation, anywhere, anyhow, and I will not feel fear. I'm truly fearless. And you all can do this, and you all need to do this. Learn how to be fearless. Fear nothing but fear itself, because it's the fear that will get you into trouble, okay? So this black shadow figure is charging me, and so I lower my vibration enough so I can communicate with him. And I ask him, who are you? What's going on? And then he stops. His bitter rage and his anger stops, and he's looking at me. And he's holding his eyes. And to him, I'm just a bright light, and now I'm communicating with him. And he says his name. I can't remember what it was, And he slowly changes from a black shadow figure and morphs into somebody I can see, a fat, chubby little guy with a gun in his holster. And he's a mean looking European. I'm not going to say Russian, but he could be Polish, but I just got the sense that he was Russian. Anyhow, he admits that he had shot his friend and he didn't mean to kill him. He just wanted to warn him. And in turn, he turned the gun on his head and killed himself. So now while he's telling me this big golden light, this portal opens up behind him. And he looks at me and he comes towards me to give me a big hug. He appreciates and he loves this. And we did. In that spiritual sense, you can't feel the hug, but you just know you're there and you're close together. He turns around, he goes into the light and crosses over. Okay. So if you want to be a black shadow figure, when you cross over, when you die, you don't have to cross over. You're given a choice immediately. You want to stay here, or do you want to come with us? Even if you do cross over and come with them, if you tell them you want to stay here, you can. That's how we create ghosts. There's your body is a sacred vessel. Like you really have to respect it, okay, and love it and learn to have self-love. The mediumship courses that you can take through certain mediums, if they're really good and tapped in, they'll give courses. They'll teach you how to do this. Anybody can do this. That veil that you created, like I said, it's you created that through the subconscious at the very beginning. But now that you're, more in tune, let's get rid of that veil. Let's lift that veil. It's very thin, and it's only there because of that little negative programming. I know lots of psychic mediums who are all worried and concerned about evil and negative energies, negative souls that they've connected with, and they do all this grounding and smudging and everything afterwards to make sure they eliminate that energy, and they fear that, and that's why they're honestly believing that it's a negative energy, because they don't understand it. They don't understand that negative isn't what we perceive it to be as all. It's a two-sided sword, and we need to appreciate both of them equally in order to really learn. So, I'm going to give you a quick little crash course on mediumship. Okay, and this is something you can go home and play with and with your friends and have fun, enjoy it. That's what it's for. Okay, that's why we're here, is to enjoy ourselves and have fun. I want you start out in the beginning, barefoot. This is important. Take your socks and shoes off. Sit down at a table across from one another. Both of you have a pad of paper and a pencil in hand, or pen. Okay. And what you're going to do with both feet flat in the ground, you're just going to put your hands up here in front of you. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask Spirit to come forward. Now, believe me, they hear your thoughts. So these two people are getting together. They have a host of family on the other side who are eager for you to get together and do this so they can communicate with you. Okay, they're eager. This is so easy because of their love and their eagerness. So the minute you ask them to come and step forward, and now I want you to do 3 times. Thank them for coming. They're coming, and thank them profusely. Put your hands down, pick up that pencil and that paper, close your eyes. Okay, the two of you are doing this at the same time. You've both got your eyes closed and you're both getting a connection. What I want you to do is the first word, and any words that come to your mind, write them down. Doesn't matter what they are. Don't question it. There's nothing to slow things down. Don't question anything. Just let it go. Let it flow. Anything that happens, any visions that you get, any colors you see, any visions that you get, write it down. Okay, so you don't forget. And then when the two of you are done, read out. Take one person at a time and read out what you've written. And you're going to be mind blown at how you picked up an amazing connection of her father or his daughter or whatever, whoever's crossed over. And every single word of it's going to resonate. Some of it may not immediately, but when the person starts thinking about it later on, they're going to, oh my God, yeah, I totally understand that now. So if you don't understand it or see it immediately, you'll pick up on it eventually. Now, when this is all said and done, you've been doing this with barefoot in the ground, so you've been grounded. There's nothing to worry about. If you want to eliminate any of the lingering energy, burn a little sage, take a feather and blow that smoke around and go from every 4 corners of every room in that entire house and sage it, just smudge it. Then you want to go outside and do 360-degree perimeter around your house doing the same thing. And you'll eliminate any energies, okay, that you want to. Now, when you're done, you want to do some grounding. And it's a very simple thing. Barefoot in your grass, in your backyard, just get barefoot on, don't get on the cement. Get barefoot on the ground or a rock, or if you're in the mountains, whatever. If you're near a river or a lake or an ocean, go barefoot in the sand, and then what I want you to do is just put your hands up, close your eyes, okay? And thank those souls for coming to you and for teaching you, but now you're going to let them go. You're going to ground yourself and you're going to let any and all that energy go. And it's just as simple as that. You're done. There's nothing to fear after that. And don't fear anything at all. You've got to learn to be fearless. You really do. Portals, each and every one of us has a portal in our house. Okay. It's called a mirror. Your bathroom mirror, sometimes that works pretty good. But for the most part, they stay away from your bathroom mirror. Okay. There's a reason for that. So your bedroom mirror, the dresser, the hallway, wherever you got a mirror, go stand in front of that mirror, and you can connect with anybody. There's ancient scriptures that have taught us how to do this and how to pray and how to connect. Unfortunately, every religious leader has omitted those, literally deleted it from any Bible, whether it be a Jewish, Quran, Catholic, Protestant. I mean, the Protestant Bible, for heaven's sakes, right on the front cover, King James Version. Doesn't that set up a flag? They have intentionally eliminated so many things to keep you in the dark so that you keep coming to them to pay the money. That's all there is to it. It's greed, pure greed. So the mirror, the scientists can now measure the electromagnetic energy that comes from your thoughts. Okay. When you combine that thought with feeling and emotion, it's sevenfold. Now you sit down and write something down, you're casting a spell. Okay. Jim Carrey, didn't he do the same thing? Write himself a check for $1 million? How did that work out? You can do the same thing. All right. Jim Carrey's got a few YouTube videos out you might want to listen to. Esther Hicks / Abraham. She channels Abraham. You're not listening to the physical mind of Esther Hicks at all. You're not listening to her subconscious. You're not listening to her talking from her heart. You're listening to Abraham, one of the very first spirits to have a physicality here. There's a group of them, Seth, Abraham. There's a few of them that are here teaching us and helping us. Okay, and stand in front of a mirror if you want to pray. If you want to create something, put one hand on your heart and speak out loud. If you want to contact your guides or you want assistance from your guides, stand in front of that mirror, eyes open, hand on your heart, and speak out loud to them. Ask them for the wisdom, the knowledge, the clarity, the understanding. Ask them for anything you want. You need $1 million, ask them for the $1 million, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. But once you've asked, in every prayer, regardless of whether or not you're standing in a mirror or if you're in your room doing this, put your hand on your heart and do it out loud. And your guides will come and to your aid. They will help you. They'll do anything you ask, okay? But what you have to do is, once you've asked, the key here is gratitude. Like I said before, the most important things in life are, number 1, gratitude, number 2, gratitude, number 3, gratitude, okay? And it's true. So now what I want you to do is 3 times over, thank them for what you're about to receive. Thank them for the love and thank them for the guidance. Now, throughout the course of the day, I want you to keep doing that. Every once in a while, remember it and put your hands together. Nobody's looking, just go over and put your hands together somewhere, close your eyes. You don't have to say anything, you don't have to think anything. They know you're being grateful. When you wake up, first thing in the morning, instantly, before you start thinking, before you open your eyes, before you get up, instantly, think of something to be grateful for. The comfortable bed you're in, and thank God, thank the universe, thank your guides for what's going on around you, whatever you want to be grateful for. Just say a few things. If you've got a mantra, if you've asked for something that you want to receive, thank them for giving you that. And it's going to happen. Your prayers will be answered. Ask and ye shall receive. There's a few snippets of reality in every religion. Okay. And one of those most important ones that I've found is ask and ye shall receive. And every time you ask and pray in the proper manner, okay, with feeling, and ask the one question once and then turn it around and thank them, man, it's going to happen. There's a thing called the law of attraction. And we don't have to know anything about it. There are people I know and have met that are so, they feel that they're not tapped in. They feel that they don't know anything. And yet the way they're working the law of attraction is just so amazing. It's so cool. You know, I know one gentleman who hasn't worked a day in his life, and he's my age. He's got a beautiful $1 million home. He pursues his passion of building hot rods and hot engines, but he chooses to spend a lot of his time and quality time with his wife and his kids. So he doesn't spend a whole lot of time out in the shop working, but he's never, ever had a problem making a mortgage payment. You know, the money just keeps flowing. I used to work as a machinist, making over $40 an hour, raising 2 daughters on my own. I was always worried about how am I going to make that $934 mortgage payment every 2 weeks? You know, I was worried about that. How am I going to make sure these kids, when the girl asks for the clothing that she wants to be proud of, that she likes, it's important that your kids are going to school happy. It's important that they've got the clothing that they want, so they're not outcasts and they feel like they fit in. Give them what they want. I've always felt that. Anything you ask for, darling, is yours. Okay, that's why I'm here. So being in the state of worrying all the time, man, I was making really good money. I had an excellent pension, all the benefits. You know, I was also putting in a little extra in every 2 weeks in my pension so that I could retire early. That worked out well. But in the meantime, I turned around and opened up my own tree service. I was averaging $3,000 clear every week. Okay, every week I was averaging $3,000. I had an awesome accountant. Because I worked and had that one wage, I was able to write everything off. In the 10 years, it was at least 10 years that I was, maybe more than that I was in business. Not once did I have to pay a penny tax. Money was flowing in like crazy, but because of my worries, I never had 2 nickels to rub together. But you know what? I never missed a mortgage payment. Anything my daughter wanted, she had. But it was my foolish way of thinking. It just had me in a turmoil. Okay, I've got a lot of friends that know I'm wealthy, and they know I've won the lottery. They know that the large amount of money I've got. My bank account every month is multiplying exponentially. All right, so I've got about 5 of my friends and one young lady who's just begun, but she doesn't know my wealth, asking me for money. I don't care who you are. If you ask me for money, if you're hungry, you ask me for food, I'm going to give you a fishing rod and teach you how to get your own food. I'm going to give you a gun and teach you how to hunt and make your own food. I'm going to teach you how to go grow your own food. I'm not going to give you money. It's not going to happen. I'm going to give you the tools so that you can be a millionaire too. I've laid down all kinds of tools for you. This one young lady has been messaging me lately, and she's not watching her I ams. The 2 most powerful words in the universe are I am. That's what creates your existence here. Oh, I'm freaking out, man. I'm worried about this. I'm hurting. I'm doing this. I'm feeling that. Yeah, well, you know what? There's a thing called the law of attraction. The more you ask, the more God will give you. It just happens that way. If you're worried about something, as soon as that one thing, that payment's made, well, okay, here, we'll give you something else to worry about. It's a law of attraction. It works that way. But if you start out your day at the very beginning and you're thinking thoughts of gratitude and of love and appreciation, then that's going to snowball. And God, all it is, the universe, your soulmates, your family on the other side are going to make damn sure that you're going to constantly have something to be appreciative of, right? If you're constantly thanking them for your wealth and your richness and the rich life that you're having, your bank account's going to start multiplying. Pursue your passion. For heaven's sakes, you kids, when you're starting out. We had a young boy, I remember grade 11 or grade 12, and he's doing this shadowing, where he comes in and watches us. And I'm working in a machine shop at the time. We got a big welding shop and a fab shop. And he doesn't know if he wants to be a welder or a fabricator. And so we spent about a month with it, I think, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And he got to spend a little time with me. And I said to him, so what's your passion? Why are you here? Do you really want to be a welder, fabricator? Man, that's the most unhealthy job you can have. Do you really want to be a machinist? I don't know. I said, well, what's your passion? Dirt bikes. I love dirt biking. I said, do you know how to wrench on them? Oh, yeah, it's just fun. Has anybody taught you? Have you taken courses? No. I said, you're a natural then. Isn't that what you should be pursuing? Motorcycle mechanics? I said, seriously, there's a huge demand for motorcycle mechanics, especially Harley Davidson mechanics. I know that for a fact. It's hard to find a good Harley mechanic. It really is. When you learn your trade as a mechanic, you're going to be working for somebody else for a piddly 20, 30 bucks an hour. That other person is going to be earning $100 and something an hour for your work. Do it, enjoy it, learn your apprenticeship, and then go out on your own. And now you can charge your 125 bucks an hour. Don't do it for the money. I don't think about the money. If you start thinking about the money and everything, it's going to be hard. You're going to be worrying. It's not going to be easy. I have a passion and a love for hot rods, and vintage trucks and cars, and restoring them. And not once have I picked one up with the intention. Well, once I have, and I'll explain that. But in the very beginning, I picked them up because I wanted to keep that. That was going to be mine. I picked up a beautiful 1930 Chevy. Finished the restoration on it. It looked just like it did. It rolled out of the showroom in 1930. I bought the car for $9,000 and sold it for 30 because it's just, I didn't want to sell it. I didn't advertise it. People are offering you stupid amounts of money. I got offered $24,000 for it instantly. I'm going, yeah, no, this is mine. I'm not selling it. I have no intentions on selling it. If somebody comes up to me one day, so I'll give you $35,000 for it. Man, I got $9,000 in it. It's not, am I stupid? I'll go buy another one. I had a beautiful 1952 Chevy pickup that I restored. I picked that truck up for $15,000, and I might have invested a total of $1,000 out of my time and my love and effort. What's that, $100 an hour? No, I don't look at it that way. I had no intentions on selling this truck, and I just loved it and enjoyed it. Now I'm getting offers at $30,000, $35,000 for them. Well, I'm doubling my money. Why not? Sure, okay, I'll go get another one. So now I go out with the intention of doubling my money. I pick up a beautiful 1955 Chevy sedan delivery, $10,000. I bring that home, start advertising. This becomes stressful. Now I got to get in there and I got to put a new intake manifold gas. I got work to do on this thing all of a sudden, and it's becoming stressful. Man, is this thing going to sell or what? It was a hard sell. I finally sold it for $20,000 and almost doubled my money, and it wasn't fun. So I turned around and picked up a beautiful old 64 F100. It was all hot rodded. I finished off the resto and put very little money into it, and instantly I'm offered double what it's worth, And the truck that I've got now, I picked up this really cool classic 1941 Dodge, rare as hen's teeth. If you Google a 41 Dodge, you're going to find that the last 100 sold, the average price is $70,000. I picked this thing up for $28,000. Okay, I've only had it for maybe a month at the Canadian Tire parking lot, at the Walmart parking lot. I've had 3 cash offers for it already. The first one was $80,000. The second one was $100,000. The third one was $88,000. The last one that just sold down in the US was identical to mine. It sold for $250,000 US. Okay. Now, if you pursue your passion without the intent of making money, oh my God, the money is just going to flow. Okay. So pursue your passion and forget about the money. That's important. The importance of self-love is immense, because if you really truly believe and understand how sacred this vessel is, you're going to love yourself. and you're not going to abuse yourself. It's a huge win-win, because you're going to lose that fear too. You're going to be fearless. And if you ask in prayer in front of a mirror with your hand on your heart, like I said, for the wisdom, the knowledge, and the clarity and understanding, you're going to you're going to find books falling out of the shelves in your lap. You're going to open your phone up and you're going to see YouTube videos that just bam, hit the heart, put your body in a tingle, and you know you better watch that, and you know that was meant for you, you know, to learn from. Look at the law of gravity. I've defied 3 scientists to explain this to me in something that's tangible and makes sense. You cannot take a round sphere, regardless of its matter, put it into an anti-gravity situation and spin it and expect anything to stick to it. They'll start with, oh, well, this is how it works. And as they get halfway through, a light comes on, they look at you and they laugh and they go, bloody hell, I can't explain it. You're absolutely right. If this isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. Look at the long-winded number that is the speed of light. Now, that same number is the geographical location of the Great Pyramids. Those Great Pyramids were built by us, but many, 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 many years ago, long before the Egyptians came. The Egyptians were there and they didn't know what it was. They didn't know what to do with it. They didn't build it. The Egyptians did not build those pyramids. Okay, those pyramids were getting buried under the sand. There's a lot out there that's buried under the sand and lost that we're going to find. There's one gentleman, I believe somewhere in France, who understands how the vibration works. He locks himself in his backyard and he built a nice big fence so nobody can see him. And with his vibration, he's moving 20-ton stones and building and creating gates and doors and all kinds of wonderful things out there. You know, he's tuned in. That's cool. We can do it. You can do it. Ask and ye shall receive. That portal in your house, go to it. Use it. It's a tool. It's there for you for a reason. If you don't have a mirror, don't worry about it. Just put your hand on your heart and speak out loud. Your guides will hear you. Your guardian angels will hear you. Somebody will come to your aid. If you're trying to move Reiki energy and you're not seeing the energy and not connecting with the angels and everything else, don't worry about it. Even if you honestly feel that you're not moving the energy, every time you try to do Reiki, there's a host of guides and guardian angels that love this and they come to your aid. Ask the guardian angels, ask the archangels, ask Jesus, ask Mary, ask them to come to your aid, okay, to help you move this healing energy for this specific person. If you're tapped in, you're going to be able to see them. You're going to be able to connect with them. And you're going to be able to see the beautiful energy that they're moving. And they're going to show you how to move that energy. Okay, but that doesn't happen. Don't worry about it. They're doing it for you. It's still going to happen. All you need to do is educate the person that's being healed. They can't focus on the pain. They need to focus on the relief. They're going to feel a little tingle, a little bit of relief. If I take the pain away from your knee completely, now your mind is going to be going in there and you're going to be moving your leg looking for that pain. Don't do that. Focus on the healing, and it's going to happen. Anything can be healed. Cancerous brain tumors, complete paralysis. You know, there's certain things. I mean, I worked at the hospice and helped people transition. And I'm just now reaching a point where I think I'm done with that. I don't need to do that anymore. I've learned everything I can from that. It's time to move on. But yeah, sorry, I forgot where I'm going with that one. Basically, all you Reiki masters out there, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're doing it. Don't doubt yourself. Don't second guess yourself. There's one darling young lady that I made a mistake by saying in my last one that she's not a Reiki master. She is. She's an amazing Reiki master. She's also a worry wart. So she creates a lot of little things there that she doesn't need, you know, some excess baggage that she just doesn't need. And it doesn't take much. A light's gonna come on eventually, you know, and our world is going to turn upside down. You know, the money's going to flow, the love's going to flow, the energy's going to flow, the visions are going to come, she's going to connect. Astral travel, practice astral travel, learn astral travel. It's fun, it's a blast, and it's such a learning experience. When you do astral travel, this is the cool part. When you're When you go to sleep at night, what do you think your consciousness does? You think it's asleep? You think it's passed out? Yeah, no. It 100% of that consciousness now leaves your body and it travels, and it's on a little mission of learning on its own. Okay, that consciousness is out traveling with your guides, and you're learning from it. That consciousness is it can be traveling extremely great distances to go learn from extraterrestrials, you know. And the dreams that you have, that you remember, are much more real and much more a reality than this physicality that you're having. Anything that happens in this physicality, don't take it so seriously, man. Seriously, it's you're here for one reason and one reason alone. Some people say it's to learn. Yeah, no, it's not. You're here to experience love and joy and happiness, period. That's it. Okay. And it's inevitable you're going to learn. That's not why you're here. That wasn't the purpose. It's inevitable you're going to learn. You can be sitting on the crapper doing nothing, but you're thinking, you're learning all the time, all throughout the day. Every little experience is teaching you something. It's this happens, and, you know, we're learning all the time. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. You got any questions, Anthony, or anything?
Yeah,
Anything
actually,
and-
yeah, I do. I have a.
Oh, sorry, there was one thing I wanted to say. I'm sorry, and it was or did I mention how the lady in the blue dress that came?
I was just about to ask you about that, so it's good that you remembered that.
Oh, okay. So in the last one, I had mentioned how out in the back by my pond, I would see a lady in a blue dress, and then she disappears. The second time, she actually smiled and waved. Never said anything, just smiled and waved, and then poof, disappeared. And a few days later, helping somebody out, and I'm in the office, and I've got my back to the showroom, and into the showroom walks this lady, and she's talking. I felt an instant love for that person. Okay. Anytime I connect with anybody, anytime I see their eyes, I see their soul, I feel an instant love for that person. So I turn around, I'm wondering what's going on. And I go out and I introduce myself to her, and I meet her. Next thing you know, we're giving each other a big hug. We're walking outside and we're talking about spirituality. Her mom's crossed over. And I instantly was got a little vision of her mom and what had just happened. I thought, oh, you know what? I think I can do a wonderful reading for you. And I did. I sat down. Her mom took me I always ask for validation. This is important. If you're going to do mediumship, ask for validation so that person knows. There's going to be certain personal, private little things that you can't Google. There's certain information that they're going to receive, that they're going to know full well and understand. Holy cow, this is really happening. Mediumship, unfortunately, there are so many crooks out there that some of them are so tapped in, they're reading you, but they're out for the money, man. They're out for the greed. They're going to lie to you. They're going to screw you over. But a good portion of them don't connect at all. They're just saying anything that would anything that they say. It doesn't matter who they're saying it to. It's like, yeah, okay, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. But there's no real connection, you know. But when you sit down with a real good tapped in medium, they're going to give you the validation. They're going to say something that uncle and you have private together that isn't written down anywhere, that isn't something they can research and find, you know. And yeah, that validation is really cool. So the lady had taken me to the house where they had grown up, and it's evening out, and I can describe the house to a T, and the property, and we look up into the trees. You can see the stars up through the trees, and we start spinning. Next thing you know, we're in the house, we're in the bedroom, we're behind her dresser mirror. We're watching her brushing her hair, you know, and so this went on. There was her uncle or somebody else had showed up, and he's all tattooed, and he's you know, being sort of macho, but in a joking, loving way. And that was him. That was his personality, you know, and so that was so cool. If you get a connection with spirit, and you meet the person, you're going to be able to do a wonderful reading. But if you sit down and do as you've been practicing with the pen and the paper and try to connect, you're still going to get a reading, but it's forced almost, if you will, and it's not going to be as intense. Okay, it's going to be there. You're going to pick up a few things, and some of it is going to be coming from your own thoughts, and you go, you need to learn to close that off. Teresa Caputo did a wonderful experiment with a neurosurgeon who had all kinds of electrodes hooked up to her head, and brought a perfect stranger in that she'd never met. And she sat down and did a reading for the person, and the electrodes in her brain, everything went blue. And the surgeon said, you know, when that happens, you're usually brain dead, right? Like how she's able to do that, it just blew him away. But what he witnessed was the healing of this girl from her sorrow and her sadness and her grief from the loss of whoever it was she had lost. So now he's witnessed how that's gone, that's healed. When you know and sense and feel your loved one within you, they're there communicating with you all the time. I connected with my my ex-wife, who's widowed now. We had a wonderful connection, a wonderful marriage, but we grew apart. We separated. It just didn't work out. And when she crossed over, and a really good medium connected me with her, that night or the next night, I came home here, and I'm looking at orbs. That's a good way to start kicking things in, is just kind of blur your eyes a little bit and look at the energy in the aura around anything, a chair, a table, your hands. You know, I look at the aura around my hand right now, and it's about 3 inches off of my hand. If you focus on that and do that, that helps you connect and helps you see. So I'm sitting here looking at the auras on the chair. All of a sudden, I can see the energy, the materialization of a human form. It's Jackie, literally, poof, there she is beside me. In the chair opposite me is her cousin, Steve, who's just committed suicide recently. The two of us, we had an awesome connection, you know, through inner physical life. So now the three of us are looking at each other and we're laughing and talking and having a wonderful conversation. We go outside, and this went on for about an hour. That's cool. So now I always feel and sense her and her love. And there's nothing like it, you know, it's healing. There's no grief. I have no grief. I'm so happy that she's on the other side and she's guiding and helping us now. And she's with us all the time. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, your pets, they're a direct extension of you. And they're their own little soul. I was misled by somebody to believe, you know, that when you see that similarity in the eyes, that it's our soul, he told me was energizing 800 to 2,000 people at any given time. Well, that 800 to 2,000 people are actually your soul family, your tribe, your soul tribe. Sorry, it's not your soul that's energizing all of them. Your soul is only energizing you. Okay. Now, Marco Governelli's got a really good book up. It's called "It Will Change You." He's also just put out, it was a #1 bestseller. He wrote a second one, and it's a #2 bestseller. And I'm not going to recommend that one. I'm going to recommend "It Will Change You." The other one, I'll admit, I co-authored that book and wrote the foreword in that. But I'm not going to recommend that book. "It Will Change You." I'm going to recommend that one. Now, the thing about Marco, though, is don't worship him, for heaven's sakes. When you learn, the most important thing I learned from "It Will Change You" was thought control and the importance of controlling your thoughts and how to do it. Okay. There's many things that he describes in that book that is so helpful. There's one, and I breezed through most of it, where it's straight to the astral travel part of it. That's something I was doing when I was a kid and hadn't been able to do for a long time. So there's 3 different methods that he describes in his book on how to do astral travel. Read them. They're awesome. Work with it. You can do it. There's many books out on astral travel. When they tell you that your spirit leaves your body in astral travel, and there's this little silver or golden cord that goes to your body so you can't get a lot of bullshit. Don't listen to that. Okay. What it is, it's a piece of your consciousness. Not like when you're sleeping, your entire consciousness leaves. When you're in meditation and you're trying to do astral travel, it's a piece of your consciousness that leaves. You're still consciously aware of your body in there. You're still consciously aware of the repetition you're doing. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. Whatever you choose as a mantra to focus on to get out of your body, you're still going to be aware of that. That thing's going to be there. And the first few times, and this is going to be different and unique for everybody, but the first few times for me, probably the first 7 or 8 times, I would all of a sudden get this vision. And it's like you're standing right there. It's just way too clear. This beautiful grass, and the grass is just too perfect. This beautiful highway, and the highway and the little white lines and everything is just too clean and too perfect. You know you're getting a vision. and it goes into a tunnel. And you look at the little black hole in the tunnel. Next thing you know, you're in that tunnel, and everything's black, and there's a little white light at the end. You look at the white light, poof, out you come, and now you have your wonderful experience. And the whole time this is going on, you've still got the consciousness of your body sitting there rocking away in your chair and trying to do astral travel. It's hard to explain, but it's so cool. So once you practice this and done this a lot, I can just close my eyes and go. And not all the time, but a lot of the time, without any thought, I can just close my eyes and all of a sudden I'll get a vision of things spinning, and it's like you're taking off from the universe, and poof, you'll have a wonderful experience. The whole time I'm standing or sitting, I'm not, laid out and doing, serious meditation to try and do this. It's just happening naturally. I've seen Deborah Dorkson do it, and she doesn't know she's doing it. But I've seen her connect and do it and go straight to my daughter's place and pick up on the house and the energy and describe it to a T. It's really cool. But I'm going to give you, I'm going to give everybody an email. It's info@deborah.dorkson.com. If you want to get a reading or you want to learn from her or any teachings, she teams up with Diane Lynn Beatty, and the two of them together, it just multiplies their ability to see and connect, and if you can get a reading with these ladies here on Vancouver Island, you can do it through Zoom or anything. You're going to have the most amazing experience. If you can get into one of their classes, there's a number of different classes they're teaching to help you with your spirituality. And like I said, if I went to one of her classes, and it was an all-day class. There's 12 of us there. And the guided meditations that she put us through was just like it was way better than any DMT experience by far, and way healthier for you. I've read about this some poison on the back of some specific toad. If you lick it, you're going to have one hell of an experience, but you need to have a shaman there guiding you. Well, how good of a shaman is that if he's going to allow you to do that? Think about it. Stay away from those guys, okay? Marco Governelli, I love him dearly. He's my brother. But you know what? I found out and learned that I could see and sense a lot of dishonesty. Being dishonest to himself and being dishonest with us. He likes to hold back. I asked him in the very beginning to teach me mediumship. Oh man, no, you don't want to be a medium. You sure you want to do that? That's going to scare the shit out of you, seeing ghosts. Yeah, no, that's it's only special people that can do that. It's only those of us that really tap in. It's like instantly a light went on and said, "Whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?" Seth is his guide. He had a near-death experience when he was a child and connected with Seth and had the most beautiful teachings. He was so tapped in. That's why his book is so brilliant. But it's just like going to a church. He's going to omit telling certain things so that you keep coming to him, and he's going to ask you for money. The reason I'm saying this is by going into those Facebook near-death experience sites, I've got a following. I've got a messenger. Oh my God, I wake up in the morning and I've got 1,000 messages I've got to reply to. People are coming to me for advice, and it's awesome. I love that. Appreciate that. My name is Michael Simon. I'm on Facebook. When you look for me, you're going to see a picture of a beautiful purple 52 Chevy. And then on the little picture inside is me showing you a little selfie. And in the back is the 1930 Chevy. You see Michael Simon. Click on that and send me a friend request. We can personally message through Messenger, and I can help you with anything you want. Okay. I'm here for you. That's why I'm here. Now, Deborah Dorkson prefers to communicate through email, because Messenger, you can get a lot of scammers. Well, when you send me a friend request, if you're a scammer, I know right away. I'm not stupid. Yeah, I'm going to block you. I'm going to delete you. That huge following, if you found and noticed, you guys, that you're no longer on my list of friends, it's for a reason. When I wake up and I open up, or any time of day, if I open up and look at Facebook and I'm seeing a constant bombardment of negative posts and violent posts that you are constantly posting, I'm sorry, I'm going to block you. It's as easy as that. Our health is so important. Our health is not only what you eat, what you digest, it's what you think, it's what you see. Turn that TV off. That's bad for your health. There's a lot of things that are bad for your health. And looking at some of those nasty, violent things, you don't need that. You don't need to be scaring yourself. You need to learn self-love and be fearless. Those are really, really super important. Learn self-love, be fearless, and be grateful. Constantly be grateful. If you're depressed, and you want to shake that depression, the minute you wake up first thing in the morning, you start thinking sad thoughts. And it's the law of attraction. Oh, you want another sad thought? Do you want another sad thought? Here, let me give you another one. That's just snowballs. But if you wake up first thing in the morning, you stop that. You take 17 seconds to turn around and think of something positive. That's going to snowball. And you're going to get more positive. Oh, you want a positive thought? Here, we'll give you another one. You want a positive experience? Here, we'll give you another one. When you learn to be grateful for everything, you're going to have all these different experiences, but you're going to see the lesson that's in it. You're going to love it and appreciate it. The things that were happening that you used to think were really negative and really bad and really hard, those are the ones that you're learning more from. They're not negative. They're not bad. You think you're making a mistake? You're learning more when you make a mistake than if you're doing your repetition constantly over and over. It's when you make that mistake, so, oh, wait a minute, you're going to learn lots, immense amount, so the mistakes aren't negative. Negative is not how we perceive it as being evil and all bad. Okay, not at all. This experience that we're having is for pure joy. Love it, appreciate it. Those two feelings, love and appreciation together, creates your highest vibration. Try and stay on that high vibration. Esther Hicks / Abraham, I can't recommend her enough. Man, go over there, check out, get on YouTube and just put Esther Hicks in. And you're going to see a long list of her videos. Scroll down the list. One of those titles are going to jump out. Yeah, there's going to be just one thing after another that you're going to want to listen to. And you can learn a heck of a lot from that. You really can. You need to control your thoughts, though, and you need to control that subconscious thinking. You don't want to think from the subconscious. That's what programmed your veil. That's what programmed you right out of the spirit world in the beginning. Don't listen to your subconscious and don't listen to your own mind. You got to stop your own mind. Your own mind is going to be criticism. It's going to be criticizing you. You're going to be judging yourself. You're going to be comparing yourself with others. You don't want to do that. Okay, that's harmful. This sacred body of yours is just that sacred vessel for your soul to come here and appreciate this physicality. Those of you that keep asking me for money, sweetheart, I'm giving you the tools. One thing is all you have to do. It's real simple. It only takes 2 seconds. Stand in front of the mirror, put your hand on your heart, and ask for your guides. Ask your guides for whatever you want, and then turn around and thank them 10 times over. And throughout the course of the day, keep thanking them and watch what happens. You're a single mom and you're busting your butt. And you've been making the mortgage payments heavy. If I come in right now and help you make that one mortgage payment, what's going to happen? You make the mortgage payment, the money's just left your hand. Now, all of a sudden, you're right back to worrying again. Am I going to make my next mortgage payment? You're going to be back to me in no time asking for more money. Get out of that state. Stop thinking like that. Realize just how rich you really are and how much you've really done and accomplished. Look at the kids that are growing up. Look how old they are. They've got their clothes on their back. They're not hungry. Stop worrying. Stop worrying. It'll kill you. And it almost killed me. I was constantly worried, where am I going to get the next mortgage payment? Busting my butt, working 80 hours, 90 hours a week. I finally burned myself out and put a gun to my head. You don't want to do that. You don't want to experience that. You don't need to experience that. I experienced that for many reasons. And one of them was to clear a karmic. One of my brothers in many past lives has been constantly committing suicide. He's always had that mental turmoil. For whatever reason, he's wanted to experience that. And I've never, ever really been able to help him. But this lifetime, I've actually experienced the mental turmoil that takes you to the brink, that makes you want to do that. So now that I've learned from that, when he actually did commit suicide, I was able to send him the healing energy that he needed. And in turn, I get a sore shoulder from sleeping wrong. Now he's sending me healing energy and that shoulder's healed, So you're getting healing energy from your loved ones from the other side all the time, right? You're just not sensitive enough to pick up on it. If you're sensitive, you cry easy, work with that, build on it. because that's what creates the visions. That's what allows you to, the more sensitive you are, the more you're going to see. You can go out and see all kinds of black shadow figures if you're really, really sensitive. But the guy that's standing beside you that's not sensitive, you're not going to see a damn thing. I sold the last place I had, paid off the mortgage, and had enough money to buy a house. It's just a little bigger house with a much smaller property, and I'm completely mortgage free. Okay, my total expense of living here is about $500 a month, right? I'm earning 10 times that every month. So but this place is right on the river, right on the Cowichan River. There's some beautiful energy out there, but we're very close to a native reserve. And I've noticed every time I go outside, I've noticed black shadow figures. And when they see me, see that light, they hide. They hide behind that tree. They don't want to be seen. So I would go to bed and turn out the light and just start to doze off. And all of a sudden I'd wake up, there's like a party going on in my kitchen. The voices, the talking. It's like, oh, what the hell? Who's here? I get it. As soon as I stand up, it's gone. Quiet. What the hell was that? Walk around the house, nobody's here. Go back to bed. It's here. Smudge the house. Okay, get yourself some sage. Get a nice little shell or something. You can put some burning sage in and get a feather and walk through every corner of your house. And just all you have to say, I'm releasing the energy that doesn't belong here. Go outside and do a 360 degree around the house and smudge. I go outside now, I don't see a single black shadow figure, none. They're not, there's a lot of them here, but they stay the hell away from here. You know, they know better. Like I said, but both times I saw the black shadow figure on the other side, they viewed me as a bright light, and they were, you know, shading their eyes. The only reason I mentioned anything about Marco, and I'm sorry, brother, I love you dearly. I've reached out to you many times to try and have an intelligent conversation with you, and you know, you blocked me. That speaks volumes, my friend. You know, I won't argue with anybody. You can tell me 10 plus 9 is a million. And I'll say, yeah, you're absolutely right. Your level of perception is just that. It's your level of perception. You have every right to it. But if I can say one little thing that's going to shed a light on anything, I will. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, I will. But I'm not going to argue with you. I won't argue with anybody. And if you see somebody that's supposed to be enlightened, Sadhguru, but what's that guy's name? Sadhguru Singh or whatever. He's quite popular now. He's doing interviews with Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan, traveling the world on his motorbike, and he's just full of all this wonderful spiritual information. And yet there's some things that he'll discuss that you know are something wrong with that. What's he talking about? And then he'll sit down and have a conversation with another yogi, and they start arguing. Well, right away, no, okay, well, you're not very tapped in, are you? There's something really wrong here. Yeah, so the reason I mentioned Marco, I said, is because of my following, and I know a lot of them are following him, and I want them to be aware. He sent me a little message one day, and he'll send you a message too one day telling you that he can't answer any more of your questions until you give him some money. He sent me a little a big long paragraph of this big bullshit spiel about how I would make a great life coach and how he can teach me to be a life coach. It's a $2,500 package, but for you, Michael, it's only $800. Well, bloody hell, I thought, man, if you were here talking to me like this right now, you can get a smack in the back of the head so hard it would rattle your teeth. I love you, brother, but smart not, you know, seriously, what are you doing? So for those of you that are following, learn as much as you can. And I've talked to a few of my sisters that have been following, and they've sensed it, that something's wrong. They've had little gut pangs and feelings that, wait a minute, something's not right. When he's discussing, I used to watch his Facebook videos, you know, and he'd be discussing the law of attraction or Reiki, those two things. He has a very limited perception of that. And when he would do that, all of a sudden, poof, Seth would show up right here beside me. Big, fat, jolly old Seth. And he's just brimming with happiness and joy and love. You can just see the love that he's exuding. And he's watching this video, and I think, ooh, this is cool. Ooh, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, you know, something Marco was saying, you look at me, he says, I didn't teach him that. But he's doing it in a loving way. He said, I never said that. That's not true. So I got to sense and feel that, okay, something's really wrong. So the last time I saw Seth, I said to him, I said, when was the last time you and Marco connected and had a conversation? He said 30 years ago. So when he's telling you he's connecting with Seth and he's giving you his answers, he's not being honest with you. Okay, be careful. Careful with him. But his book, it will change you. Man, you're going to learn a lot from that. If you're a beginner in the spirituality on your road to learning, you're going to learn a lot. And you're going to gain a lot. It will change you. It definitely will. Man, it changed me. I went from suicidal to absolutely loving myself and loving this existence and loving everything I learned. Learning to love yourself is key. Absolutely key. And feeling no fear and understanding that what you perceive as negative is not evil. It's not negative. But if you have a fear, they're going to play with you and make you think it is. You don't believe some of the psychic mediums that I've talked to. Famous Simon Peters in England. And he honestly, I've gone into the churches and we've done exorcism. And it's like, oh, dude, really? You don't see and understand that it's just somebody playing with you, feeding on your fear. Talk to other ones that are saying you be careful about teaching people mediumship. They got to learn grounding and they got to be careful with all the negative energies. Well, any lingering energy, if you want to get rid of it, ground yourself. When I do a healing, I have to ground myself afterwards because the energy that lingers with me is their pain. I did a wonderful connection and a healing energy for one lady, and she was distraught because her lover had committed suicide. He was on the other side, and she wanted to know if I could connect with him. And is he okay? I'll send me a picture of his eyes, and I'll let you know. And when I connected with him, I had a wonderful connection. I was able to put her at ease. But for 2 or 3 days afterwards, this is in the beginning as I'm just learning this, for 2 or 3 days afterwards, I can hardly see. Man, I'm thinking, I got to go get new glasses. What the hell is going on here? I'm having a hell of a time seeing. Then she says to me as I'm talking to her and telling her this, oh, he was damn near blind. His glasses were like this thick. I thought, okay, I went up and grounded myself, release the energy, and poof, I can see it clear as a bell. So grounding yourself, you're going to release any energies, okay? Any energy, any lingering energies, whether it be from Reiki or from mediumship, always ground yourself afterwards, okay? That's going to help. And in grounding yourself, all it takes is barefoot in the grass, out in your backyard. Man, if you can go to a beach, the energy there, the grounding happens so quick and so fast. It's so cool. The ocean, we live on the ocean here, so I'll do that quite a bit. I've got the river right here in my backyard, and I'll do that quite a bit down the river. It's so cool. So I'm not standing in sand, I'm standing on rocks down in the river and barefoot, and believe me, it works. The minute you get down there, I don't even have to do this, close my eyes or say anything. I can feel that energy leaving my body. And then as I stand there, I can feel it turn around and all the beautiful energy that comes from the river. It's like plugging myself into a charger. I can feel the energy. I can feel recharged. It's really cool. Try it sometime, and just be sensitive and love yourself and realize just how sacred you really are and respect yourself. Marijuana. I heard Sadhguru Singh talking about marijuana, but I've never smoked it. And then you start, sorry, buddy, if you don't experience something, don't talk about it because you don't know what you're talking about. You're just repeating something you've read. You're just repeating something. You're not talking from the heart. Okay, marijuana is something I know all about. I started seeking out marijuana in grade 6 for whatever reason. I have no idea. I think a lot of it was to do with the violence and everything I had to put up with and the abuse, but whatever. It was a habit. I smoked it daily for years, many, many years. And what happens, they've done a study now. At the very beginning, your little receptacles up there are receiving that THC in a way that is, you're thinking it's healing. It's not. Whenever I get a cold or get a flu or get very nauseous, I can go have a few puffs and it would take the edge off. Next thing I know, I'm standing in front of the fridge and I'm eating and I'm a day later, I don't have a flu. I'm feeling great. I'm thinking, man, this is medicinal. I'm not, and then I remember somebody telling me it was a gateway. And I said, what do you mean a gateway? I said, it helps you to connect to the spirit world. Oh shit, I'm gonna go smoke another joint and around connect. Well, your connection when you're doing that is fuzzy, it's foggy. You're not getting a real good connection. Okay, you're robbing yourself. And with the studies that they're doing now, they've shown and proven that what happens with chronic use, but it doesn't have to be chronic anymore because of the high concentration of THC. Young kids now that are just starting out, and my daughter, 20 years old, she was 17 and 18 when she started smoking pot behind dad's back, and was all quiet about it. All of a sudden, she's getting extremely nauseous, sick as a dog, living off an IV bottle in a hospital for 10 days. And then that 10 days of no smoking anything, you know, she's coming around, everything's fine. She goes out with her friends and has a few more tokes, and bam, she's back in at 10 days of extreme nausea. And what the doctors have found is that those through research, they found that those receptors will switch. Instead of making you hungry, making you feel not nauseous, it does the exact opposite, and it damn near kills you. Okay, stay away from pot. It's not good. It's not a heal. It's not healthy. It's not medicinal. Okay, it will screw you up eventually. Okay, eventually those receptors are going to flip. And you're going to be suffering. I talked to a beautiful doctor here in Mill Bay, Dr. Wilson. She's awesome. If you're on Vancouver Island, go talk to her. Man, she's one of the best doctors out there. She's tapped in. She's glued in. And I've had some amazing discussions with her about Reiki and everything else. She told me, she said that 10 years ago, she was working with a young lady who had Crohn's disease and irritated bowel syndrome. The woman suffered immensely. They tried every damn thing they could with drugs to help her, and nothing was working. So she came across this article that somebody had written about marijuana, exactly what goes on. And when this nauseousness occurs, when you're sick and you're barfing like that, there isn't a single medicine that they can give you to help you. Nothing they can do to help you. And that's when they know, ooh, I think this man smokes marijuana, and they'll ask you. And if you're honest with them, they'll tell you, hey, stop smoking pot for a while and see what happens. So that's what she did with this lady 10 years ago. Today, she hasn't seen the lady in years. So the lady doesn't have Crohn's or bowel, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with her. Healthy, fit as a fiddle. Okay. So, you know, I enjoyed it for years, and I don't recommend it. I've experienced it. I think I know what's going on with it. So I'm telling you, stay away from it, man. Seriously, it's habitual. It's not like tobacco. Tobacco is highly addictive. Heroin, cocaine, these are highly addictive. These are a hard habit to break. Okay, it's an addiction. It's something you're going to need help with. It's probably something you're going to be able to do yourself. Cigarettes, you're going to need a patch. You're going to need some help. Okay, and marijuana, there's no patch for that. But it's habitual. It's not addictive. It's a simple, easy habit to quit. You have to learn to hate the habit. If you realize what it's doing to you, you're not going to mess with this sacred vessel in that way. You know? Yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything.
All right.
Anything else?
I have some questions for you.
Awesome.
So you said that people die because of an experience that you had, that someone that you knew turned into a shadow person. Why do some souls, if not all of them, turn into shadow people, shadow entities? Why that entity at all?
Well, when Barry crossed over, he was so stoned, he didn't even know he was dead. He didn't even know he had crossed over. He's just wandering aimlessly with no thought, you know? The other guy, though, the little gangster, when he crossed over through suicide, he had a limited intellect. He didn't think there was any afterlife. He's locked up in this little black cubicle of nothingness. And when that little bright light, when I came into that black cubicle, I scared him. And he was trying to violently attack me, you know? But it didn't take long for him to realize that I came from pure love. And in no time at all, we were embracing each other. And he went from that dense black darkness to slowly his form. You'll hear a lot of mediums and stuff tell you, you don't want to lower your vibration and connect with these people. You do if you want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why not. There's absolutely no reason why you can't lower your vibration and communicate and help these people. Because that's all they are, is souls that have come here to have an experience. If you want to do this, when you cross over and you're asked to come, just honestly, just say, hey, no, I want to stay here. I want to have some fun. Okay. So when you're staying here and you're doing whatever it is you're doing, you're trying to relive and remain here, and people are going to come into your house, and you're going to try and get rid of them. You're going to try and scare them. If there is a fear, if they're afraid of that, man, it's terrible what some of these souls will do to you. But if you're really sensitive, or if you're tapped in, tuned in, you'll see them as black shadow figures. People that aren't tapped in, tuned in will just get a little glimpse of it. I might walk into a room and see a black shadow figure 7 feet tall towering over a poor kid in the bed. The kid in the bed can't see it, but I can see it. You are all demigods. Okay, God has given you free reign here and free will to experience whatever it is you want to experience. You want to experience worrying? God will say, okay, here, I'll give you something more to worry about. You want to experience pain and suffering? Okay, here, I'll give you more to hurt, more to suffer from. You want to experience love and joy? No problem, I'll give you that. You've got total free will. I suggest you choose your I ams wisely. Like I said, a young girl was just connecting with me, wanting money, and I'm explaining things to her, the importance of her I ams. 2 seconds later, I get a message back from her. I'm freaking out. I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage. Like, come on, seriously? You didn't hear what I just said? Well, you know what? A lot of people, it's like trying to explain advanced calculus to somebody struggling with algebra. So you have to know where to start with them to get them going, I can't just jump in and start explaining advanced calculus to you if you don't understand algebra. It's just not going to work, right? When the student is ready, the teacher appears. The student has to be ready. I'm always here. I'm a teacher. I'll help you. Like I said, I'm on Facebook. I have Messenger. If you need any help, contact me. I'll be glad to reach out to you. And no, I won't charge you any money. All it's going to cost you is your time. Okay. Now, there's a lot of good mediums out there that will charge you money. Deborah charges double what anybody else does, but guess what? There's 2 of them doing it. And the connection you get is going to be awesome. That's how they manifest their abundance. I'm not judging them. I'm not criticizing them. What they're doing is awesome. It's beautiful. And Gina Nesel is one of the best psychic mediums out there. She doesn't teach any courses, but man, can she connect for it? If you want to learn, go to as many psychic mediums as you can. Each and every one of them, you're going to learn something, whether they're good, bad, indifferent, or otherwise. You're going to learn something, right? It's like a trade. You need to learn your trade and journey and learn it. I pick up as many books on it as you can, read as much as you can about it, learn as much as you can about it, and ask each medium that you sit in front of how they do it. Each and every one has a different story to tell you, on how they do it and how they get set up. And you put all those tools together, and it's just going to increase your experience, tenfold, right?
Now, you spoke about a shadow person or shadow people opening portals. Can you give any kind of experiences or stories of that?
Well, it was just those 2. As they're looking at me, talking to me, the large golden light shows up behind them.
Yeah.
And when they turn around and see it, this time they're a little more tapped in, and they'll move into that light. They've probably seen that light, but been afraid of it and avoided it, or just didn't want to go into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, if you fear these shadow and ghosts and different things, they'll feed on that fear and put you to a point where you're honestly thinking you're seeing something demonic, but it's not demonic. Look at this Skinwalker Ranch or whatever this is, the energies that are there, that are hanging out there. They'll feed on your fear. But if you walk in there fearless, and there's a Jewish rabbi that goes in there and does some work, but it's all coming from a lower level of comprehension. It's all coming from religion. I'm not knocking that. That religion is there for a reason. It's the beginning of your journey of spirituality, the beginning of your learning and understanding that there's more to life than this physicality. There's nothing wrong with religion. I'm not knocking it. But you can get higher than that. You can elevate higher than that. You can learn more than just that. I don't know.
Now, how or why are mirrors portals? How did they become at first like,
Yeah.
portals for entities to travel through?
It's a good question. In a lot of my readings, I haven't done many, but the few readings that I have done, a lot of them have taken me in behind that mirror to show me that what they're seeing. Your family, your host on the other side, they see you, they hear you, they're viewing the world through your eyes. When your mom passes, when your dad passes, they're not hovering over you, watching over you. They're not sitting up in heaven looking down at you. They're within you, looking through your eyes. So if you're standing in the mirror looking at them, looking at you, I mean, you're in the mirror looking at yourself, they're there with you. They're seeing that. So I just think that just heightens things and gives you an ability to call them in. Don't stand in front of a mirror and call in any old soul. Don't pick up a Ouija board and call in any old soul. If you pick up a Ouija board, call in specific souls and thank them when they're done and ask them to leave.
Yeah.
And when that's done, just do a little grounding and that'll release any energies, any lingering energies. That's all it is a lingering energy. There's nothing negative about it at all. Right?
I have one more question for you, and then we'll end it with closing comments. For this last question, it is, what about those people that just have really chronic fear? How can people get over their fear? How can they stop having fear?
By learning to control your thoughts. Pick up a book called It Will Change You. There's many books out there. Ask and you shall receive. I think the best way to end that is to do as I asked you. Stand in front of the mirror with your hand on your head and speak out loud to your guides to come to your aid, and they will. I think that's the only way you can do it. You need some aid. You need some help to do that. You need to learn thought control. The minute you start thinking anything that's not bringing you joy, that's not from pure love, stop that thought and think the opposite. When the little analytical mind starts kicking in, stop those thoughts and think from the heart. All right. The gut feelings, that's not your subconscious. That's somebody trying to communicate with you, whether it be your higher self, your mom, your guardian angel, one of your guides. Those gut feelings, listen to them, go with them. Believe in them, trust in them, don't doubt them. The minute you start second guessing and everything, that's the analytical mind. Close that one down, shut that one down. I think the only way you can stop that fear is to learn thought control. And the minute you start feeling or thinking any of that, stop it and think the opposite, right? There's two sides to every thought, just like everything here. There's two sides to everything, right? I think that's the only way you can truly get rid of that chronic fear. Chronic worrying, doesn't matter what it is. You need to learn to control your thoughts. Okay. This whole thing here on this planet, everything, your life, your health, your finances, everything is a direct result of your thoughts. When you cross over, what you think manifests instantly. Not like it does here. You're in a denser form, it takes a little more work. Okay. You can tweak the law of attraction to your advantage by simply understanding how it works. That's all you gotta do is understand how it works, ask for something and give plenty of thanks and forget about it and let it go and watch what happens.
All right, Michael.
Okay. The lottery, if you want to win the lottery, just remember a lot of people are playing with the law of attraction when they work in the lottery, whether they know it or not. So there's a lot of us in that little loop there that are trying to collect. If the universe gives you its numbers, if you're seeing repeated numbers, write those numbers down. And you're going to get a gut feeling of when to use those numbers. Manifest your winnings. It can be done. It's simple. Control your thoughts. Love yourself. Respect yourself and realize that your physicality here is a sacred vessel for your soul. It really is. The eyes are the windows of the soul. You're damn straight there. Right? I mean, I look at your eyes, Anthony, I know right away, they're the same as mine. You and I are brothers. We are soul. Our families are together. I met a lady online who lives in Indiana. I live in Victoria. In a past life, I was Lozanne, a medicine woman, a famous Apache medicine woman. And my brother was Victoria. He was the chief. I look at old pictures and I showed her old pictures. Her eyes and those eyes, Victoria, those are the same. That's the same soul. Okay. she was a brother in my past life. In this life, she's a sister of mine. I live in Victoria. Her name was Victoria. She lives in Indiana. This Apache native thing is all new to me. It's, you know, I just stumbled into this a few years ago. So it's cool how we're able to connect. My soulmate was born in Wales, and yet I'm born in Canada, and yet we still connected and got married and had a wonderful relationship, right?
Yeah.
Your soul tribe, you will connect with them. When you cross over and you connect with them all, you replan another reincarnation. You know, we have done this for an eternity. Okay, we're very, very wise old souls, and very, very blessed, and very lucky, and very fortunate to be here doing this, because, like I said, a lot of souls can't. They're not advanced enough. They don't know how to, or they're just total buttheads, and we won't allow it. Yeah, on the other side, Anthony, is everything. Every aspect of the souls that you meet here, it's the same on the other side. There are some buttheads over there too. You know, that doesn't change. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Michael, you've answered all my questions. I really do appreciate you for coming back on for the part 2 of your episode, and, you know, going over the self-love, you know, and then creating your own wealth, and then going back to the shadow figures that you experienced and the lady in the blue dress. So thank you so much for coming on and telling those stories. And
I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Anthony, so much. And many people are going to benefit from this. And anybody out there that's listening that suffered from suicide, the experience of it, or the want, or the need, or the desire, or the feel to do it, or you've lost a loved one due to this, if there's anything I can do to help, believe me, I can enlighten you. I can help you with that. Okay, your loved one on the other side that has committed suicide is healed 100% and is not suffering. They're not in pain. Okay. There's a lot of love and a lot of healing energy on the other side, and they have an instant realization. They're living a wonderful experience over there right now, waiting for you to come back, and they're viewing the world through your eyes. Okay, they are viewing the world through your eyes. They're with you all the time. They're loving you all the time. They can hear your thoughts. They can hear your words. So communicate with them, talk to them. Even if you can't hear them, if you're not sensitive enough to hear and sense and feel them, don't worry about it. Talk to them. They're hearing you. They're listening to you. Keep the faith.
all right, guys. This is Michael for his part 2 for episode 70. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you again, Michael. This has been another episode of Real Supernatural Encounters. We'll see you guys later. See you later, Michael.
Thank you.